In a world where brand experience is paramount, upholding your company's standards demands unwavering consistency in every location. At the SBOA, we understand the critical role consistency plays in driving your business's success. That is why we joined forces with MSI to introduce a revolutionary internal audit program tailored to meet the specific needs of your organization. Our game-changing audit program leverages cutting-edge technology and expert insight to bring you unparalleled accuracy and reliability. We know that success in this competitive environment is paved with adherence to operational requirements, and every company has its own standards along with state and local regulations to adhere to. So we've made our internal audit system completely customizable, all in a user-friendly app. The app enables on-site agents to collect real-time data and insights from their respective locations. This feature ensures that information is up to date and allows for quick responses to any issues or challenges that could arise. Our internal audit program also has advanced photo and video reporting capabilities. These visual reporting tools allow leadership to visualize non-compliant sites and gain a comprehensive understanding of the issues, with specific examples for clear context, which enhances communication and leads to faster resolutions. And it can be done with just a few clicks and the snap of a photo or quick video. And our program provides an in-depth understanding of each store's performance and challenges. This feature allows for a comprehensive assessment of how well each location adheres to operational requirements and brand standards, helping to identify areas for improvement. Are you ready to take your self-storage business to the next level? Explore our comprehensive suite of services, including internal audit programs, mystery shopping, and reputation management, and unlock your full potential. Contact us today to embark on a journey of excellence and success. 248-954-9000.
Are you a self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is the premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and self-storage unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
Good morning, self-storage industry, and welcome to another episode of Self-Storage Unlocked. This is a webinar series that we put on 2 times a month to help educate the self-storage industry further. Today is called From Stars to Profits. It's all about understanding the power of online reviews and self-storage. This webinar is sponsored and hosted by one of our vendor partners, Storage Reach, which will be bringing up Kale from Storage Reach here soon to give us an overview on what Storage Reach can do for you and your self-storage business. But before we get started, I have just a couple quick housekeeping items for you. As we go through the webinar, if you have questions for our speakers today, please put those questions in the comment sections. That's where you will engage with us during the webinar. We will ask some poll questions throughout the webinar. So again, keep your eyes on that chat section. As we really would like to hear from you when we ask these poll questions. It just helps us to get to know you better and the type of education that we can bring out there to you. And as always, we can't do these webinars without our other vendor partners and our member partners, other owners and operators just like you from the storage industry. So big shout out to Storage Reach again, Storage Asset Management, the Storage Group, and Freedom Storage Management. I do have two quick announcements before we dive in. If anyone in the audience or if anyone has heard about this program before, we do have a training program for newer or brand new owners and operators in the self-storage industry called Storage for Rookies. Over the last 2 years, it was the same content, just different select dates that we did throughout the year. We have now expanded 5 hours of training, almost up to 25 hours of training. We will be releasing that information early next week. So if you are a newer owner or operator, or even an owner or operator that's looking to scale and grow a portfolio, this training is for you. So please keep your eyes peeled in our weekly newsletter that comes out every Tuesday or on our social media channels. Another new enhancement for this year, SBOA has a new enhanced membership program. It is just $9.99 a month, or you can pay for the annual membership up front. But with that, you get access to these webinars, you get access to our private LinkedIn and Facebook groups where you can interact with other owners and operators and storage industry vendors. You get access to coming to some of our special events that we do at the national shows, whether that be the National SSA show or ISS. We always do a networking event. You'll have access to that and so much more. Actually, I'll share my screen here for just a quick second and I'll show you guys some of the benefits. This is just something that we would love to see. And I'm doing this from a very raw form right now. But let's see if I can find this real quick. There you go. That is the new membership program. Let me expand this a little bit. So, oops, sorry, I did it a little too much. And then you can see there 10% off of our products. Insurance is not included, unfortunately, but our mystery shopping and internal audit software would be. And then exclusive savings from some of our member partners. So take a peek at that. We'll put some links out later today where you can go in and get enhanced membership with us. So I'm going to dive right in. First up is my host for today, Kale from Storage Reach. Good morning, Kale.
Morning, Jessica. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Kale. Kale, give the audience a quick overview of who you are, how long you've been in storage, and what Storage Reach can do for them.
Yeah. So like Jessica said, my name is Kel Levitt. I am the CEO and co-owner of Storage Reach. We are a software provider that integrates with management software in order to help you automate your review generation process and generate online reviews. And we'll talk about the importance of that today. Background on me, I was the vice president of marketing with Easy Storage Solutions for 7 years. I helped run the marketing department where we offered SEO and online marketing to clients. Grew that from about 5 facilities when I started to over 1,500 before the Storable acquisition. After the Storable acquisition, I worked with Storable for a while until leaving to start Storage Reach. The reason I wanted to start Storage Reach was, being in that SEO and online marketing world with those clients, we noticed that we saw the power of reviews and how they help facilities, but we didn't always love recommending other software providers for reputation management and review generations because they can get a little pricey, especially for the small operators. So I set out to create a software that's similar to that, but is a lot more affordable and can help facilities have that system in place to generate those reviews.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Kale. We really appreciate it. And I'm excited to talk about your program and how you can help owners get more reviews. I'll bring you right back up in just a minute. Next up, I have Jeannie from the Storage Group. Good morning, Jeannie.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. My name is Jeannie Dotson, and I'm the marketing manager at the Storage Group. And the Storage Group is a digital marketing agency that specializes in the self-storage as well as boat and RV storage industries. Basically, we help to make sure that your facility has a strong online presence, which is just as important as having a strong brick and mortar presence in your targeted community. So we create progressive websites. We had the first online rental tool that integrates with a number of property management systems called Click and Store. We do, for our clients, we do search engine optimization. We do pay-per-click advertising, social media, reputation management, local listings. So really just making sure you have a very strong digital presence. I actually started out in marketing in 1994, and I worked at TV stations for a very long time. And then I got into digital marketing and have worked at different agencies. I've actually been in self-storage in this industry for over 10 years, working twice. I used to work here at the Storage Group and then worked for another company and then came back to the Storage Group. So our team of experts just, we love this industry and we want to help people to have a strong presence.
Thanks, Jeannie. Yeah, and a strong digital presence is critical in today's world and environment. We're in a digital era, so thank you for being here. I'm happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
All right, next up, I have Jim Mooney Jr. from Freedom Storage Management. I can't talk today. Here I go. I'll let you talk, Jim.
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, I'm Jim Mooney Jr. I'm Vice President of Operations at Freedom Storage Management. We own and operate 25 stores currently right now. We've been as high as 30. We're buying and selling up and down. We also do operational consulting for the smaller business owners that have one or two stores or even more that want to refine what they're doing. Been in the industry about 24 years right now. I've seen a little bit of everything. And thanks to SBOA and for Kale from Storage Reach for putting this on, because reviews are critical for what we do.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, thanks for being here with us, Jim. Happy to have you and get your insights on this topic later. And last but certainly not least, I have Melissa Stiles from Storage Asset Management. Good morning, Melissa.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm Melissa Stiles, the Chief Marketing Officer here at Storage Asset Management. We are a third-party property management group that specializes only in storage. We manage just under 600 properties under 100 brands in about 37 states. And we do full service management, everything from accounting to HR to operations oversight, revenue management, and of course, marketing. And I've been with Sam it'll be 10 years here going next month.
Oh, happy anniversary. That's awesome. Congrats. Awesome. Well, let's bring up all the speakers. And I want to kick this off and start this out. And I'm going to put this link in the chat area for everyone. I found this interesting article and I wanted to share some of these stats with you. So Google by far is the largest portal for reviews. It produces 6 times as many reviews as its 3 nearest competitors combined. And the number of people reading Google reviews continues to grow daily. So here's some top highlights I just wanted to point out. 93% of users say online reviews had an impact in their buying decision. That's a large percentage. 81% of consumers use Google to evaluate local businesses. Consumers are 50% more likely to be motivated by an online review than a discounted offer. So let's talk about that a little bit. Kale, if you want to start off and go into just some of this consumer impact that it can have for you, let's talk that through.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I'm really excited about this webinar. I think we have some great panelists here that have a lot of different insights and hitting it from all other angles. So this will be awesome. As far as reviews go, we live in a digital age. I mean, we're programmed to look at reviews. They give us our first impression of businesses, products, anything really that we're searching. I'm sure maybe you've been looking on Amazon or something, and you've looked at a product, and you looked at, first thing you do is probably check reviews. And that's the same thing in storage. Like Jessica said, like 86% of people check reviews before. I'm not sure if that was the exact stat she said, but check reviews before checking an online business or researching an online business. And so it's just as powerful with many different ways. We have a bunch of topics that we're talking about today, whether that's differentiating yourself, local SEO, brand trust and credibility. Reviews handle all of that, and it's a very low-hanging fruit that facilities can tackle that can have a tremendous impact on their business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, look at those stats, right? I mean, those are some really large numbers. So, I buy a lot from Shein. You always see check the reviews. So it just becomes second nature, I think, for people like you said, right?
Yep.
Anybody else have anything they want to add on how that can really help influence and drive other consumers from the review standpoint?
Well, I think that reviews are especially important for local businesses, and we know self-storage is very, very local. And people will look online and see, your Google business profile with your reviews and how many out of 5 stars do you average? Is it 4.5? Is it 3? I saw some stats that the lowest people will go and use a business is 3 stars average. So reviews are incredibly important, but also I was looking at different stats as well, preparing for this, and Trust Pulse had a article that was on January 7th, and it said 91% of individuals aged 18 to 34 trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So as people, if you are near let's say a college or something like that, I mean, that's a generation that's coming up that relies heavily on reviews. It's got to be a big factor in your marketing strategy.
Yeah, and just to tail off of what she's saying is that, reviews are the new word of mouth. Lots of times you are asking recommendations. Previously you would call your friend down the street or say, hey, can you recommend something? And even now I see some older generations on Facebook will say, can you recommend? Well, most of the younger generation, to your point, they're going straight to the reviews. They're not asking. They're going to find out themselves. They'll search for the service they need and then use those reviews like they would use a recommendation.
Yeah. I can tell you, I'm traveling this week. I'm in Ohio, and the first thing we went looking for a restaurant last night for dinner, and the first thing I did was look at the one. Somebody said this restaurant's good. I went on and looked at the reviews. It had all 5-star reviews, and then I looked closer. The reviews were all 3 years ago. So I'm like, okay, we're not going there. We didn't even try it. And I mean, we all travel a lot. We're always looking at reviews for restaurants, hotels when we're going someplace, because that's it. They got to be relevant and recent for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people do look at that. They look at not only that, but they look to see if you have responded to reviews. And that's really, it's not, reviews are, you have to think of them as lead generation, because really they are. But also it's your reputation online, and it can make a huge impact. So recent and also responding, because that's a form of customer care.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I realize that every business makes mistake, right? We're all human. And so if there is a negative review, those are usually the people that want to really leave reviews, right? When they've had a bad experience. So to me, it's more about how that business responds, right? And if they're responding in a way that is empathetic and, you can really understand that this business cares about their customers, that makes me want to buy from them even more.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's definitely an opportunity. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Kel. You
go.
Oh,
no, I was just going to say there's definitely an opportunity to turn negative reviews into positive experiences. When people are looking at reviews, like Melissa said, if you can respond to that in a positive manner, you can turn that negative experience and make it more authentic to the potential tenant, because there's a big psychology with reviews, whether that's making a quick decision or that's trusting and credibility. There's the trust and credibility thing is huge with reviews, and having authentic, real reviews, which, authentic reviews aren't always 5 stars. not everything is going to be 5 stars. There's not a business in the world that is completely perfect. And people see that, with us, especially grow with people that are younger millennials that have grown up with reviews. They recognize that they're not dumb, I guess I should say. They understand that businesses are businesses.
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, most people are reading those reviews, your responses, before they even pick up the call, or even if they click through to your website. So that is really your first impression to, your potential tenant.
Yeah, exactly. I think we could just run through a scenario. Maybe you're looking for storage and you Google storage or self-storage near me, something along those lines, and you see a facility. It's a half mile down the street that has maybe 50 reviews and a 4.2. Maybe another one a mile down the street with 200 reviews and a 4.5. Most people, like 90% of people, are going to be drawn to that positive experience and that more trust and more credibility for more reviews. And they are going to then click into those reviews and read those before even going to your website. That's how I shop. That's how most people shop these days. So it's very important.
Melissa brings a great point, because I was working with a client
and
the other
most
week.
consumers.
Sorry, Regine. I was working with a client the other day, and I looked at their Google reviews, and they had them there. And then when I went to their website, there were no reviews anywhere on the website, so it didn't match. So I'm like, wait, do I have the right page? Because it was worded a little differently, and making sure all that transpires from Google Business Profile to your website is critical as well.
Yeah. I was just going to say, consumers expect to see a few negative reviews. That actually lends credibility in their eyes, because if they see everything's perfect, everything's 5-star, they tend to think those are fake reviews. So they expect to see that, but it's how you handle it. And to look at negative reviews, I know we talk to clients and we really encourage them to get reviews. And sometimes they're like, I don't want to open that can of worms, because what if I get a bad review? And I always tell them, think of it as an opportunity. There was obviously a breakdown of communication somewhere in your process, or what the tenant expected from what actually happened. Show them that you're listening, show them that you care, and that you're reviewing the process, or, you can spin it so that it actually becomes a good thing. So I think that's important as well.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to add some key stats since we were talking about some of these. Jim, you were just saying you looked at that restaurant review, right? So 86% of users will think twice about buying from a company with negative reviews. Another very large stat, right? One negative review can cost a business up to 30 customers. 75% of businesses don't respond to negative reviews. You have to respond whether it's positive or negative, especially if it's negative, but don't become combative. Take that offline. And like Melissa was saying, show that empathy. That at least gives you that grace period with a potential consumer saying, okay, they were willing to fix, not get combative and I'm right, the consumer's not right. And then 53% of consumers want a fast response to that negative review. They took the time out of their day to leave it. They're expecting that response. So all of that kind of plays into what we were just talking about from a stat perspective. And all those stats are in that article that I shared with you. Kale, I'm going to come back to you real quick. Let's go to the basics of this. Okay. When do you ask? How do you ask? And we're going to add a big layer onto this, because we got a lot of tech coming into the self-storage industry that allows for automation and workflows like email triggers, SMS triggers, text messaging triggers to try to get those reviews. So tell me, when do I ask? How do I ask?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. There's different answers to that depending on the person. I think I was looking at a Bright Local study. There's like 33% of people like to be asked in person. Other 35% of people are good with emails. It depends on the person. So the best way to do it, I think, is to try to hit every avenue. For us as Storage Reach, we tell the facility, make sure if you have a property manager on site, make sure they're asking. And if they aren't willing to leave a review at that time, tell them they're going to be receiving a text message that's following up tomorrow that'll request that review. So how we do it, we send out a review request via text message the day after a move-in. What we found is that's been a little bit more successful. With storage, it's a little different animal than maybe a restaurant or anything like that. Once someone rents a unit, there's a big process after that. They got to go manually do some labor, move into their unit. So we give them a little bit of time, but we want to hit them within that first 24 hours requesting. And then we also send a follow-up a few days later in case they didn't act upon that first message. Because again, maybe they're moving out of their home, maybe they're moving into their facility that day and they get busy. So we want to hit them multiple times. But the best way to do it is, just ask in some way, shape, or form, and be polite. Make it personal to them with our messages. We make it very personal. We say their name, where they're renting from, asking for some feedback. I'm very curious with Melissa as well. You see how Melissa does it. She's, got a lot of facilities that she's working with, and I'm sure she's got some good insight on that.
Yeah, definitely. So just to add what Kale said, in that same Bright local survey, and they do it every year, and if you haven't read it, definitely go and read it. It's fantastic and some great information that covers reviews in general and not specific to the storage industry, but gives you some great insight. But in that study, they say that 34% of people want to be asked in an email. So our program starts with that, and it starts with asking through an email, and we give them a reason to open it, right? So it includes all of the information about the facility, where to pay their bill, hours, call center, etc. But we also use it in a survey message that we're asking them to leave their feedback in a survey, and that they can be entered to win an Amazon gift card for filling out the survey. At the end of the survey, we ask if they'd like to push their review to Google. And so that's been very helpful in that we want this data because we want to improve our experiences at our properties through these survey tools, but then it also gives them an opportunity to push that to Google as well. Combining that then with SMS, like Kale said, it's making it easy for them to leave messages or leave reviews. So sending them a link that goes directly to the Google review in a very quick way to be able to leave those stars in that context with it as well. So ours is a drip campaign. So it starts with that email and then a text and then another email if they haven't completed, with the ability for our on-site managers to actually send that text at any point as well. So if they're right there in front of the customer, they can send that text while they're completing their lease and be able to have that done. I've heard from some of our managers that they stall on completing the lease until they see that Google review come through, because it's really important to get that as well. So.
Well, it's the same thing.
And I would. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We start the same way. As soon as the lease rental is completed, we have a CRM and cycling that triggers one out, goes out there, and then we work with Kale and his team, and we got a drip campaign on there. But we also built the SMS into our software as well, that when we're talking to somebody, and we made sure it's the shortcut link that goes right to. And a mistake a lot of people make, they'll send them to Google, but they might not send them right to the review page.
Yes.
So when we send our shortcut link, it goes right to the page and it pops up with the star ratings right away. So it's there for them. That way they don't have to go find something. That's a step that a lot of people sometimes miss, that step in putting that direct link right to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say anytime you have a touch point, we tell our clients, anytime you have a touch point with your tenants, whether it's online or in person, doing the rental, reservation, or payment, is a good time to ask for a review. That's when you're top of mind. But just like you guys were saying, but you have to make it easy to find your actual page, because they would have to go to Google, they would have to type in your name, and then they could find your Google business profile, and then they could leave it. So you need to have the direct link. And if you're going from their in office, what we did at one of the locations we had with a previous position was we almost had like a business card. It was like, how is your service? And it had QR codes that went directly so that they could scan those and then go and leave a review that way. Or you could have flyers up. But to make it as easy as possible, so they don't have to take the time to search and do all that stuff. You're going to lose them somewhere along the way if you do that.
Yeah, I want to ask this question to you guys. This is from Beth. I've had it up on screen. At Kale, Melissa, anybody that does both text and email, which one tends to get the better response? She's asking, don't customers respond better to the text than an email? You tell me. I don't know.
I think it varies by customer.
It does.
Yeah,
And geographic region as well. We see that. The texts really work well when the person is right in front of the manager and we can send them that link. But the emails work just as well too, because you have that opportunity to make it into that survey and give them a reason to click it open with the other information in there.
Yeah.
I love what people are saying. Oh, go ahead, Cal. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, so, I mean, text message does have a better open rate, but it also depends on the customer. Like Melissa said, I mean, we've seen different geographical regions have different open rates and things like that. We actually implemented a gift card to kind of incentivize those open rates. With Jim, we saw this work pretty, is big benefit. We saw once we started implementing a gift card offering $100 Amazon gift card or something along those lines, we saw a 10% open rate increase or review rate increase on our facilities. And one thing to be aware of, Google doesn't allow, it's against policy to incentivize for reviews. So that's definitely not something we want to do. How we work it is with our gift card. When they click that link, they go to a page where they have an initial rating. They say, how would you rate our facility? 1 to 5 stars. We make it very clear in that page that, that initial rating is what enters for that gift card. A lot of times people just think that they have to continue on with the review to be entered. That's not the case. So we're following Google's best practices, and we're able to incentivize them, give them a reason to open it.
Yeah, and I saw that Beth also said the move in and move out. We do that too. That process is at the move in and move out. But I will tell you, it's much easier to get a review at the move in because that's the happiest a storage customer will be. You've solved the problem for them.
Absolutely.
You're not getting storage just because you want storage, right? So during that process, no, I like to buy shoes instead of storage units.
Put in storage.
But yeah, so you have you solve their problem and they're going through this time that they need the storage unit. So you're making them happy and solving that. So that's the best time to get that review. The move out can be the same too, but usually there's there could be some issues with the move out, an auction tenant, et cetera, that make sure that you just have a process in place that you are targeting your happy customers.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly. Now, so we've talked about some of the workflows and everything. Kale, I have a couple things that I would like to show that you had sent over. Yeah. I'm going to put this up here real quick. And if you could just kind of walk us through this. This is specifically related to one of Jim's properties and the success, or maybe all of his properties. It's just the success rate of he employed your services and what that did for Freedom Storage Management. So walk us through this.
Yeah. So Jim was one of our first clients. We opened up. He's been awesome to work with. He's really helped us kind of get a process in place and help to build this product out. And one thing about us is we are specific for storage. We're only focusing on storage. We're trying to make the best possible product for storage facility operators to make their lives easier and help them with something that we've seen a lot of people not necessarily tackling the best way. So what we did is, with Jim, he had the same, a lot of people do them. He was making sure people ask. He was making sure he had a system in place, sending emails out. But we wanted something more. We wanted to be a little more successful. So what we did is we implemented our product to where we're hitting move-ins, move-outs, and we send out to current tenants as well, text messages to after they move in or after they move out. With current tenants, we send it about 5 per week, just trying to capitalize on, people that maybe have been there for 4 or 5 years that they're obviously having a good experience. So they wouldn't still be there. So what we did is, we implemented that and we saw a big increase right away. I think in the first 2 months across his 22 facilities, we drove about 250 reviews. But the cool thing about this was, and something we haven't necessarily talked about yet, is, reviews have a huge impact on your SEO as well. And they help you to generate more traffic. And I see Jeannie nodding her head down there. She definitely does that with the storage group. And he actually saw a 26% increase on clicks to his Google business page during this time. So just pushing those reviews had a huge impact on not only his credibility, his trustworthiness, but also his rankings online to get more traffic. Because so now instead of just being more trustworthy, you're also getting in front of more eyes in order to be trustworthy and credible to more potential tenants. So that's kind of what this case study talks about and how that was successful.
Yeah, I just want to jump on what Cale had said about it helping SEO wise. And Google's algorithm, which is what they use to decide rankings, which is very important SEO wise for local businesses. It considers a variety of signals when it comes to reviews. So it includes the quantity, the velocity, and the diversity of the reviews. And then it does give an overall average rating. It'll show different snippets. So it will show the latest, the most common keywords used in reviews. And then, that helps your Google business profile or to stand out. It can also help you get into the map pack, which is when you do a search and you see the map and it shows the different, if you do storage near me, and it'll show you the different ones. It can help you to get in that because there's a limited number that they feature there. And that will definitely help you get people to your business.
Yeah, I think that's really important to talk about too, is that map pack. What you've seen, because storage, like we talked about, is such a locally driven business, that's something that's very important, trying to tackle or trying to make sure you get in that map pack. One thing that I think kind of isn't talked about enough is that map pack gives you a chance to compete. Maybe you are a REIT, maybe you're competing against a REIT. Usually REITs have deep pockets to throw up at ads and different things. And not, smaller facilities don't have that amount of budget. So one thing that is a good thing to try to focus on is getting into that map pack, because it's actually shown with that map pack on a local search, about 42% of clicks on a local search go to the map pack. And again, that's that top place where A, B, and C with facilities they're recommending. About 24% of clicks go to the pay-per-click ads. And then I think that comes out to about 34% go to the organic listings. So ideally, we want to hit every single spot. We want to be in the map pack. We want to have ads. We want to have get good organic ranking so that we're taking up as much space on that page as possible. So more likely to get a click. But, if you don't have that deep pockets to hit those ads up top, map pack's the next spot you want to be. And it's as important, or if not more important, than pay-per-click ads.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Google puts out and a lot of other SEO companies will put out loosely, these are what the factors are that get you into that map pack, as Cale's talking about. And over the past 3 years, reviews have moved into that number one spot. It makes up roughly 16 to 17% of what that map pack is. And yeah, Jill, he's saying map pack, and that is in
sorry.
The Google, when you're looking and you're searching and you see the map, and it has it's usually 1, 2, 3, depending on where you're searching, but it has those ones and shows the address and the pinpoints on the map. That's that map pack and what we're referring to.
Yeah, it also shows you reviews a lot of the time. It'll show you star rating and reviews. So that's kind of where you get that initial, quick at a glance feedback to your facility.
I'm going to do Beth's question real quick, and then to piggyback on this conversation, I'm going to bring up the stats that Jim sent from his internal organization on this. But Beth is asking, what do you do about, I hate the word unmanned facilities. Sorry, Beth. They're remotely managed. There are people that are manning them, I promise you.
Virtually managed.
Yeah, virtually managed. There you go. Since Google now requires an office at your location to verify it, if you can't get it verified, you can't get reviews for that location. Trust me, we're going through this at the SBOA right now, trying to get verified because we changed offices. And yes, it can be a bear. So let's talk through the verification process and what we should do for virtual remotely managed facilities.
Jess, we just did one. We were in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We took over a property. Was that we trying to get something mailed to us, couldn't do it. We actually did a video chat with Google where we walked around and I videoed on the phone a lot, the two-way video, and showed them the property, showed them the house unit, which is the office, showed them the signage on the property, did all that. It took about 20 minutes to do that, and we got verified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The same thing with our virtual ones. You know, our marketing team can't personally be at all of the facilities, but we use like our employees who are there doing the lock checks and giving them access to the Google profile for that time period and doing that video chat is how we've got verified. But I will tell you, you know, to Beth's point, to extend it, we have had trouble at those locations getting as many reviews as we do at our staffed facilities. And I think that really comes down to the personal ask. So we're working on some more process improvements and procedures, like during the online reviews or when they get to the property, having that more in your face about asking for reviews as well.
One thing we did.
Yeah,
and
What are your thoughts there, Melissa? You're going to use signage? Oh, everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that our property, when we have our remote guys on there, they all wear shirts that say staff on there, and we actually give them business cards. And when they're interacting with customers doing the walkthroughs, they stop and they have everything going. If any problems, and to Jeannie's point earlier, we're giving a business card with a QR code on the back that they can just scan and give to the customer. Hey, would you, hey, we're trying to keep this place clean. Would you mind helping me out? I'm new here. You know, could you give me a review? And they give them the business card with the QR code right on the back of it.
Jim, Beth's asking, you mentioned an office at that location. What if there is no office?
Same thing. Well, we don't have an office. We have a house unit where we have our computer all, and we just kind of showed them where our computers were, our cameras were, that it was on the facility. There wasn't an actual office. It's a storage unit. Yeah,
we, like to Jim's point, we would show them where like the gate software is, right? Or something like that, and that is suffice. So no office is really necessary, especially if you're doing that video chat piece.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I love this question too, because that's a big topic in our industry right now is, unmanned facilities, remotely run facilities. And I think one thing to remember too is, remote facilities are awesome, but they're even more important to have a system in place or a process in place to generate those reviews, because you're not able to have that personal touch. So typically, yeah, like Melissa said, we don't see quite as many reviews as in a manned facility, but we want to make sure we have a system in place so that we can capitalize on those.
Right.
And it's even more important in those instances.
So if you do online rentals or online reservations or online payments, those are good opportunities for you to put that message in, to leave them a review, having the direct link. I don't know if they still do this because I haven't had to verify in a while. Do they still? Some people would get around it by you get the postcard sent to you. Do they still do that?
Not as much. The video
Not
chat.
as much. Yeah. I know that's how some people used to get places that it was more difficult because there weren't people there. You could get the postcard sent to the physical address. They would get it and then be able to verify.
Yeah. And to Beth's question, her locations don't have gator cameras. There is a way when you get on that video chat to talk through it with that Google representative that they see that it is actually a business. And that's been very helpful. But going back, the piece on, remote or virtual facilities, I think it's all about the customer experience too. So, the customer experience with the staff is where you were really getting those reviews before. So now, like, we're working on ways that we can really up and entice that customer experience, whether it's through wayfinding map technology, our call center employees, just making sure that you have that experience is going to help you get those reviews as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Melissa, I want to just piggyback on what you're saying there. In these virtual or remotely managed, signage is critical. I would highly encourage you as an owner operator to go to that facility and walk it like you're a consumer and have a friend do it with you, because you're going to have blinders on because it's your property. And have them, the customer experience is critical. If there's a barrier in the customer experience process, they're going to tap out and go to your competitor if you've got a competitor close. And then Beth, I just want to bring this up to you. Don't know your situation at your location, why you don't have a gator camera. If you'd like to talk about how we can help you with that, you could be very rural, maybe you don't need it, but I fully believe all facilities need gate access because you can tell exactly what tenants on your property, when they were there, what they were doing, and you could do that with cameras too. It will alleviate a lot of nefarious activity. But we understand there's some, I think like the state of Maine, like I don't even think you can have gates in Maine if I'm remembering what I was told from like a year ago, or there's certain pockets of Maine. So I understand like it could be situational to your facility, but if you are allowed to have cameras and a gate access system, I know they're expensive to get, but it is an expense that will, I think, help you tenfold in the long run. So.
And as far as customer service, those are, what they're storing are their valuables, their things that they've worked hard to purchase and buy. It just gives them peace of mind that, especially with an unmanned facility, having that security, I think, is just helpful for them to feel like, okay, my stuff is safe.
Yeah. All right. We're going to come back to reviews. Sorry, I derailed there.
I just want to add one thing, Jess. We're working with a company called StorePass. It's a virtual wallet, Google Wallet within your phone. We've done a lot of things with those guys where there's maps on the phone, stuff like that. So when you have an unmanned or unattended property, it shows up on your phone. When you come up to the property, geofence is in there. It has a map. Shows here's where your unit is. You can walk your way to the unit. So there's a lot of technology out there that you can utilize on unmanned or unattended properties that can bridge that gap to help the customer customer have confidence in what they're doing at the property.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim, while you're up and speaking, let's add this document. Talk to me about this.
It's pretty simple. I went back to, we were always looking, everything with all of us is always proof. You got, if you're going to spend money to do something, you got to make sure it works. So I went back and looked at the first 4 months of the year before we, really started with Kale. And these are how many stores we had, how many total rentals, our reviews, averages per store. And then the last 4 months of the year after the partnership started, so we went from a 10.3 average to 31%. I mean, that's dramatic increase in reviews. 429 reviews in the last 4 months is for
in a condensed time period too, right? Kale, anything you want to add to that for the why you feel he had that success?
I think first off, Jim creates a great customer service experience for all of his tenants. I think that's the most important thing here is, creating a great customer experience is going to lead to more reviews, and then just getting a system in place. So once we were able to get a system in place where it was sent, it integrates directly with his SiteLink management software. So it's all automated as well. He doesn't have to do anything. It just sends a text message and just gives the tenant an opportunity to leave that review and actually give them an opportunity to appreciate the customer service that Jim has provided. So it was easy for us, with that customer service makes it easy, but just also having that system in place because that's everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And audience, just a quick reminder, we do have 2 poll questions out in that chat section. So if you could go out to the chat and say poll 1 and put your answer, poll 2 and put your answer. Again, that just helps us to get to know you better. Want to talk a little bit about how this can help differentiate you from your competitors, because competition is extremely critical out there right now. There's a lot of self-storage facilities, probably a lot within your, 1, 3, 5, even 10-mile radius. So how can you utilize your online reviews to help you stand out from some of your local competitors? Jeannie, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I just think, all the ways that we've talked about, it can really help you when people are searching. Most people search on their phones for local businesses as they're out and about. So reviews can give people peace of mind of which places to go. It can help you get higher so that you appear and you have a much stronger online presence. But it also just, I think I always tell people you have to think of it from new people. Like if you've never done storage, there's a lot of questions you may have about how do I store things? How do I do stuff? It's important to have that trust in the place that you store your things, and reviews can really build that trust in a short amount of time because they're listening to people who have experienced it. So it's just not only is it beneficial to prospect tenants. But like we've been saying, it also helps you with your SEO, which is search engine optimization, which is with Google. And, Google rules the world and they just let us live here. So it's always very important to have a strong presence in Google. That will always help your business. And another thing, like Kale said, if you're a smaller business and you're competing against the REITs, this is a great way for you to be able to get listed and shown, even if you don't have multiple properties, if you have strong reviews, and if your SEO is done right with your website. So it's just with marketing, it all comes together, it all works together, and I think this is just a fundamental part.
I have to just tell you real quick, I just got a text from another person in the industry, Cindy Ashby. I don't know if she's on this one or not. I think this is pure coincidence. She's very ticked off at Hertz Rental Car right now. She just sent me the 1-star review she left them, and the commentary is pure gold. So I just had to add that in there, that like, you have to respond to negative reviews. She's clearly ticked off when you get a negative review. Obviously, the consumer is probably ticked off, just like Cindy is. So make sure you're paying attention to even those negative ones out there.
It takes a lot to get Cindy upset.
What's that, Jim?
It takes a lot to get Cindy upset.
Does it now? No, just kidding. It does.
I was just going to add, I just have 3 other ways that I think that reviews are, the obvious is how you rank online in the Google, but I would read your competition's reviews and see what they're doing well, right? And then using that to structure your business, or see what they're doing bad and using that in the presentation to your tenant. I think those kind of things can just set that edge with your facility as well. And then using the reviews that you get to improve your process will make you more competitive too. So if there's a piece that they're leaving a review about, taking the time to actually fix that process and having a process in place that tracks that and make sure that you are actually following through on that feedback will differentiate you in the market as well. And then the third one, people want to work at a good company. So when you have good reviews, it helps with your recruitment as well. So making sure that you have good people at your company and behind the counter. Those reviews can help that, and then again, just differentiate you from the competition.
Yeah, those are great points, Melissa. I'm glad you brought that up, especially from like how you can utilize that from a business intel perspective. What they're doing good, you want to replicate. What they're doing bad, you want to not do, and be able to shout that out. Like, oh, but they're pricing $79 for this 10 by 10, and yours is $109. Oh yeah, but like they have rats, they have this, or you could just lead them to go like, hey, you might want to check their reviews before you make that decision solely based on price or whatever the scenario is. So those are good. Kale, I think you had something you wanted to add in.
No, I was just going to say that also, take it in that same direction. Reviews give you almost like a pulse on what's happening with your business. They give you, good feedback on what people maybe want to see or what they don't like. And it helps you to not like improve your process, like you're saying, maybe improve your facility. Maybe people want more lights or something. When you're seeing that, it just gives you a pulse and know what is needed.
Yeah. Now let's talk about some. There's different systems out there that can be used. I know Melissa's group uses reputation.com. So we're going to transition over to talking about, the online reputation management and what that looks like from the review perspective. But Kale, what you were just saying too, like when we look at our stuff, I can quickly dial in on online reputation management. And I can, like, if I see the sentiment, the word dirty keeps coming up, I can click into dirty and I can see every review that listed dirty. And if there's consistency there, then I know as an operator, like I have a cleanliness problem that I probably need to go address with my management team. So let's talk about how we can dig into some of those sentiments and how we can use that to improve our businesses.
Yeah. So sorry.
No, you can go.
So you were talking about using the sentiment. So like a lot of operators, we do existing customer rent increases. And so when we want to test a new model or, to see where we can, where's a good spot for that, one of the factors we use is the sentiments from reviews. So being able to pull that out and pulling all of the data and analyzing it for those reviews that mention price, and then able to gauge those see what tests work, see if we're maybe pushing them too far or not, and if we don't receive any reviews, maybe not enough. And we were surprised. We did see an uptick of negative reviews in December, and we thought it was due to a more aggressive ECRI model. However, the sentiments all showed it had to do with more of our customer service. So that's a training opportunity then for us, where we can go back and get back to the basics of training on customer service, where we thought maybe our negative reviews were around price when they're actually around something else.
Yeah, and I would just want to piggyback, Melissa, for those that don't know, ECRI is existing customer rental increases. That's another critical thing that people need to be attuned. We're going all kinds of directions, talking out of reviews, but occupancy rates are dropping. So you really need to rely on your existing customer base to start making profitability. So that's a whole other webinar, but I'm glad that she brought that up because it is relevant. So
yeah, and to kind of dive into that a little more too, with our service on Storage Reach, how we do it is, if there's a 1 to 3 star rating, we take them to a survey. So we can kind of get a feedback before asking them to leave a review in order to, or not really allowing them to leave a review, I guess, at times, but to just kind of get some feedback and know why that's happening. But we also, with our system, we track everything. So if a tenant has left a review in the past, what we do is when that current tenant message comes around every 6 months or so, we send them just a survey. So that we're not only getting that review, but we're kind of getting up-to-date feedback as well on your facility.
Yeah. Now, Kale, while you're talking, talk me through these next 3 screenshots that you sent over to me and what they mean.
Okay, yeah. So this is just a quick ranking check for your Google business page and your radius around your facility. A lot of facilities do this. You want to keep an eye on, obviously with Google, proximity counts, proximity matters, how close they are for your facility. So what we want to do is, we want to gain reviews, not just grab some random facilities, but you see here, right around their facility, they're 1 to 2, 3 or 4 kind of thing. That's kind of where we want to be. But as you get farther away, that drops. What we want to see is that green farther out. Obviously, and how you do that is, having a great Google business page, having a good SEO presence, and, just getting reviews and getting consistent quality reviews. And as you start to do that, if you go to the next one, you'll start to see it get, better and better as far as the radius goes.
Yeah, I'm going to show everybody the next one real quick. Sorry, I have to go in and out of sharing my screen to do that. I thought I'd be able to just click, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. But here's the other one where Kale's talking like it's getting no red on this one, which is awesome, right?
Yeah, it's getting better and better. That's actually one of Jim's facilities. So when we started out, there was a lot of red on those outer circles, but as we've generated a lot of reviews, we've upped his Google My Business page ranking. You can see that starts to spread out, and you get better rankings farther out from your facility, which is the goal.
And just another tool that I just wanted to mention is that I know with our dashboard, what can be hard is like going to the different places and really keeping a pulse on what people are saying and the different reviews. So we have a dashboard that pulls in the reviews so that you see them all in one place, and then you can respond to them. So you're not having to log into Google and Yelp and all that and remember to do that. It just makes it convenient. So there's tools out there that can allow you to do that. So, just be aware that may cut down on the time it takes for you to keep a pulse on the reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Audience, we have about 5 minutes left. If you have questions for the speakers that are here today, now is your time. There is another Iris put in there. I love this. Leave the Storage Business Owners Alliance a review if you are getting a lot out of this webinar today. Please make it a 5-star. I'm just kidding. Anybody has any questions, get those in now. Any last words from my speakers before we wrap up? And then I'm going to go into a couple announcements of some big things that are coming up in the industry.
Yeah, I just wanted to, Kale kind of alluded to this, and we alluded to this in answering it, but the good thing with storage is we have that database of tenants. So if they do leave that negative review, don't wait for them to answer your comment. Go into your database, call them up and have that conversation with them. That is one good thing about storage versus a restaurant, where a restaurant, it could be any customer coming through and paid cash and you don't have a record. So utilize all the tools to your advantage. And, as alluded to, there's lots of platforms that you can do this, making sure that they're all in one place and you can answer them. But if you're a single owner operator, at least putting your Google alerts on so that when you get a review, you're getting that email or that alert that comes in is definitely beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would just say that to remember when it comes to reviews, people want to be heard. That's why they're leaving it. Whether they're happy or they're sad, they want to be heard and they want that acknowledgement that they took the time to do it. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. I kind of want to jump into just as my last thing, the word of mouth, how it is the digital word of mouth. I got an email a couple of days ago. I left a review for a golf course and it said like 2,500 people had seen my review. I would not have told 2,500 people about the great experience I had at that golf course. I wouldn't have done it.
That's awesome.
But it gave me the opportunity to tell that online and have that word of mouth experience without, being face to face. So
that's more than the people in your town, Kale.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to say, is the golf course sending you a commission check now? 100 eyeballs from your Google review.
Yeah. I don't even know 2,500 people. So
wait, let me see here. Tom's asking, is this conversation only relevant for customers who use Google? What happens with customers, for example, who use DuckDuckGo as their search engine? Good question. Anyone?
So DuckDuckGo, and they all use a lot of them use the Google search engine. DuckDuckGo just has protection on your, from what I understand at least, has protection on your data and everything. So with DuckDuckGo, you're still able to pull up the Google Maps and view the rating. So it doesn't really make a difference. I know in this Bright Local study that we posted earlier, it shows the amount of people that use Google to look at reviews, and it was like 90-something%. So it doesn't make a big difference.
Yeah, I think I also read too, like Facebook reviews sadly are becoming a little less relevant right now. They're not receiving as many as they used to.
Yeah, they're not trusting them. There was a lot of trust that they think that they're fake. I saw a lot of data about like 47 people believe that Facebook reviews are fake. That's a lot. So
that is a lot.
The other thing is Facebook, that tends to get your angrier customers. So your rating on Facebook tends to be lower. But the good thing about Facebook is you can hide your ratings and reviews. So if you happen to have that low rating, make sure that you hide it on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you, TikTok reviews are a thing. I bought that stupid scrub brush because I've watched 5 million people scrubbing their showers with the scrub brush and I had to buy it. So I don't think it's relevant in our industry just yet, but it could be one day, right? I don't know. Somebody cleaning out a storage unit on TikTok, right?
I'll beg to differ. Our influencer campaigns from TikTok have gotten, over 100 rentals from it. So TikTok is definitely, I don't know about the reviews, but the influencer is another piece of word of mouth that fits into it.
Jill bought it too. Jill, mine's still in the package. So yeah, it's working well. But hey, they got me. I bought it, right? Well, speakers, thank you so much, everyone, for being here today and giving us your valuable insight. We really appreciate it. Audience, I hope you got a lot out of this. I'm going to release my speakers. If my audience would like to, Jill's saying she loves it. Okay, Jill, I'm going to get it out of the package. Speakers, you could stay behind stage if you'd like to hear these announcements, but we have a few quick announcements that we'd like to give you that are things that are happening in the industry. And just to let you know, if you subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which is part of our free membership, we have an upcoming event section where we list all of these, both national and state level self-storage association conferences and trade shows. It's a really great place to go learn. Next week is the Executive Ski Workshop. It's in Canada. I think it's sold out. That's put on by the National SSA. I'm not 100% sure if it's sold out or not, but it usually sells out every year. So if you missed this year, keep your eyes on January of 2025 for that great event. Unfortunately, the SBOA won't be in attendance. This past week, the New York Self-Storage Association had their investment forum. Again, that happens every January, another great event. But would like to shout out, coming up in February, the first main event that we're going to, and it is a large state event, I think it's the top 4 in the nation. The Florida Self-Storage Association has their annual conference coming up. February 7th through 9th in Orlando, Florida. I am part of the board and I'm happily serving as your president this year. So please attend that conference if you are an owner operator in the state of Florida or have interest in the state of Florida. It is also the association's 25th anniversary. So we're super excited. We've got all these silver party things lined up for you. It's going to be very exciting. And then we have all of these webinars for Q1 already lined up for you, from speakers and topics and what we're doing. So if you check our website out, you can go register for all of them. They go all the way until the end of March. Probably by beginning of March, we'll announce Q2 webinars. But again, go out, sign up for those webinars. There's 2 a month usually. So please check our website out. There's some really great topics this quarter that we have lined up for you. And we're doing a special edition later today, which we haven't done one of these in a while. So the ladies from Universal Storage Group, Ann Ballard, semi-retired last year, and she went on this Pearls of Wisdom tour. She's been in the industry for 30 years, and they're doing a last chance offering of this tour exclusively with the SBOA today. It is a 3-hour training session. I know that seems like a long time, but I can promise you the management and marketing metrics that these ladies are going to share with you to help enhance your business. It's a don't miss event. If you can't attend any of these live with us as well, please still go register because you will get access to the recording. So if you can't make it later today, again, it's from 2 to 5 today. It's a long one, but I promise you it's well worth it. It will be a good one. Please follow us on all social media. We're on just about every channel out there, including TikTok, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're even on Eventbrite because that's where we host our events. You can follow us there for any of the updates that we have coming for you from the SBOA. And one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the webinar, the new enhanced membership package that I said was $9.99 a month, or you can pay the annual fee. We're running that through the entire month of January, half off. So for just $4.99 or $49.90, you can pay monthly, or you can pay for the entire year. You get access to all of these webinars, all of this great content. It's what we're known for. So please check it out. Enhanced membership's the way to go. Free, you still get our free weekly newsletter and our quarterly digital magazine, but enhanced, you get the webinars, you get 10% off our products, you get all kinds of bells and whistles. And our intention is to expand this membership program into a third layer where you'll get even more if you're part of that VIP package. So that should be coming soon, hopefully later this year. So again, thank you everyone. Sorry we ran a few minutes over today. We really do try to keep these to an hour, but it's always a great conversation. Reviews are important. Ask for those reviews, respond to those reviews, whether they're good or bad. If you have any questions and you need help from anyone that was on this panel today, we will send out a follow-up email with the link to the video as well as all of their contact information. Get in touch with them. They've been in the industry for a long time. They know what they're doing, as well as the SBOA. You can always reach out to me and my team if you have questions. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see all of you back here at 2 p.m. for the Last Chance Pearls of Wisdom Tour. Thanks for being here. Have a great afternoon.
Are you a